Okay, you need to think about sun exposure, sunbathing, as training in the gym, building muscle. It's the same concept. You can't go to the beach and stay there out there for 9 hours without any sunscreen if you've been indoors for the past 9 months becoming a vampire. You have zero tolerance, you have zero callus, you have zero adaptations to resist that type of intensity. So, what you need to do is one day go out for 30 seconds, let it hit your whole body from your outside organs, every spot, 30 seconds max. Go back inside and do your work for the rest of the day. The next day, go for a minute, and if it feels good, awesome. And then slowly increase it day by day. So by the time you want to go to the beach for vacation, then you can spend the whole day outside without getting sunburned. It's 'cause you guys get skin cancer because you throw yourselves out into the wolves, aka the sun, without any preparation. If we lived like natural humans, we would have never had to unadapt from the sun. We would have been adapted to it since birth because we would have been outside playing all day, hunting animals. We would have been getting so much sunlight from since we were young. There would be no need to wear sunscreen, but we wear sunscreen because we are not adapted to the sun. And guys, of course, the sunlight is going to damage your skin if you're not ready for it. So you have to do it. You have to do it periodically and smart, just like training in the gym. If I'm working on my bicep, guys, I'm not gonna throw on 75-pound dumbbells and do eccentrics with it as my first ever workout. I would destroy my tendon or tear my bicep. I start with the 5-pound dumbbells, do some curls, and when I feel fatigued, when I feel like, oh, that's enough for today, I'm done. And anything you do for the first time in the gym, it's gonna get you sore. So if you haven't been in the sun for like the last 9 months, you've been working remote and you spend like 2 minutes outside, 3 minutes outside, you might start feeling a little weird on your skin right away because you're sensitive, you're fresh, your body is so responsive to this new stimulus that it's gonna it's not gonna have the resources to adapt, or you're gonna start to feel pain because it is so sensitive. It's not prepared. It's gonna signal you to get away from there or move or just do something because it's not ready. So you have to do it like this. You have to go outside and stay in the sun as long as you feel good. And once that feeling good moment climaxes and it starts to diminish, go back inside. Because now that's the signal that your body's telling you it's not ready for more. So right now I just spent outside in the sun for like 10 minutes, almost 15 minutes. And my hands, like on this side, they're tan, but on this side, it's white. As you can tell the difference, right? Because I mow lawns. So my tan parts are actually, they don't tolerate the sun as much because they're always gonna they get hit by the sun a lot more throughout the day. So when I purposely sunbathe, these areas are gonna get tired quicker because they've already had enough sun exposure for the day. But these pale parts, when I switch my hands to the other side where it hits the sun, it feels great. And I just keep letting it hit until I start feeling the tingly sensation, or right before I start to feel tingly from the sun exposure, that's when I go back inside and call it a day. So that's how you need to think about sun exposure. Think of it as working out, building your glutes, training your legs, building up your upper body. It's gonna take time. So of course, the sun is gonna damage you, might even give you cancer if you're like pale as a vampire, haven't been in the sun for like 2 years, and then you go to Pensacola Beach with your girlfriend, and then you're out there all day without any sunscreen. You're playing beach volleyball. You're swimming by the pier, and then you have some tacos at the I forgot what that place is called. It's really good, but you're out all there in your board shorts. You're playing, and it's fine, but this is what's gonna happen when the body can't. Think of it like this: you're unstressed, peak stress for adaptation, and then too much. This is where you are. You never go out in the sun, so you're not adapted. When you work out or go in the sun, you that's the stimulus to adapt. So you raise the intensity at the to the peak spot. That's when you want to quit. You don't want to do more where you start to feel fatigue, or in this case, the sun. You don't want to feel the burning sensation. So you quit right at the peak. You're not trying to kill yourself. This is not CrossFit in terms of sunlight. You're not trying to metabolically condition or like go beyond failure. You just want to hit enough of a good workout, in this case, a good sun exposure, and back off right at the peak before you are gassed, but enough where you know you put in a good effort. So you do that, and then you rest for a day, you sleep, and then the next day you have a new peak. You can tolerate a bigger peak of intensity. Okay? And this is what happens if you go beyond it. If you go beyond this peak, you start to decompensate. So you're new, you're fresh, you have a baseline, you train hard, high sun exposure, peak. But if you go beyond that, so in this case, the adaptation you would get at the peak stimulus, you would get a tan, slightly tan, a small tan. That means more melanin on your skin to protect you. If you go beyond that, your body starts to decompensate. It loses tissue because it can't respond fast enough to that stimulus. So therefore, what happens in the case of muscle, you tear your muscle, you're so sore for days. It takes you a long time to recover, and you might only recover to baseline, maybe compensation. Because if you destroy your muscle too much, you might destroy to the point where it takes a long time to get back to where it was, and it might not even improve. So you have to do it. You have to damage it a little bit to grow it again, bigger and stronger. You don't want to damage it too much. And in the case for skin, guys, the decompensation is called a sunburn. So the tan is the peak adaptation that you want, because then your skin is tougher, it's calloused. You get that tan glow, but you minimize the very extensive damage. It's a little bit of damage to get the adaptation, but not the damage that's gonna give you horrible moles or like peeling skin. That's what sunburns are that are results of. It's decompensation. Your skin is so damaged and it's so red, it's so burned because it had too much stimulus. Instead of healing, it's a lost cause. You destroyed a lot of the body of that cell and all that stuff. So instead of healing, it just peels off and a new layer grows back. But it kind of accelerates your aging because you destroy too much tissue at once. Because, right, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Whatever that law is, it gets transferred. So whatever you lose from here, it goes away and then it's gone forever. But that's why you keep eating to replenish it. But you don't want to speed that process up. You don't want to keep damaging and damaging your body. Sometimes you deteriorate faster than you age. What does that mean? You damage your body so much, you're forcing your body to use so much resources to heal, that even though you're young or you're not that old, your body starts to break down because you're never giving it enough time to rest. It's so much stress. It's chronically stressed. And that's the thing with sunbathing. If you're fresh, if you never go outside in the sun, the last thing you want to do is go immediately out there and spend a whole week not covered with clothes. You want to do it little by little or wear sunscreen. That's the modern solution. But the thing with sunscreen is a lot of it has a bunch of garbage in it. I don't like it because it never felt good on my skin. And the results speak for themselves. Every time I meet somebody, they think I'm 18 or 19. I'm sure that's not true anymore, probably like 20. But I don't age horribly, even though I never wear sunscreen. It's because I time it periodically. I don't do it every day. I do it when I feel like it. I do it when I feel depressed. I just go out, get some sun exposure, call it a day. I'm not. ¿Qué pasó? A ver, ahí veo después. Ahí voy. Later. Anyways, let me get back to the point. So think about it like training in the gym. Do it periodically and you will be okay. But the only exception is the only thing different about this, which I'm gonna compare to the gym, is if you eat a lot of animal fats, raw too, not cooked, 'cause raw's better. But if you eat a lot of animal fats like cheese, maybe some raw milk, but especially raw fat from a steak or something like that, organs like liver, but it has to have a lot of fat. Butter, lard's great. That has so much nutrition that your body starts to adapt to all. Look, let me put it like this: all that food is like the 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 reinforcements for when you go out in the sun. Your skin is properly nutrition, has proper nutrition. It's properly reinforced with the correct fats. You're less likely to burn when you go outside if you eat that type of food, because if it's just better for your body. I really wish I could explain it like a scientist, but I've done it myself. When I used to eat so much garbage, oats, a bunch of sugar that was not from like a whole food like raw milk or anything, like just a lot of seed oils, I tend to burn more easily. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the fats are not good for our cells, and then our cells can't function correctly, therefore we burn easily. But when I eat raw foods, especially raw animal foods, my skin is way more prepared, way stronger, way more able to function better when I come in contact with the sun and I don't burn. So that's, I hope you guys understand this. Think about going outside in the sun like you're going to the gym. Your first workout in the gym is never going to be a powerlifting meet. A powerlifting meet is equivalent to a whole 12-hour shift outside in the sun when you haven't been outside in 2 years. Come on, guys. Think about it logically, especially if you're not eating right. If you're eating right, you might be able to tolerate it. It's like, and let me put this other comparison. If you eat right, raw animal foods and all that for your body, that's like the equivalent of throwing in a teenager who went through puberty really good, strong bone structure, etc., really tall, really strong. They might be able to do really well in their first powerlifting meet and have good results, but not everyone's like that. Just like not everyone has a proper nutrition, hasn't had years and years of proper nutrition and built up to suddenly throw themselves outside in the sun for a whole day and not burn. It's rare because most of us don't live optimally in terms of eating the right food, sleeping well, and correct sun exposure, correct buildup of sun exposure. So, yeah, comment down below if you think differently. If not, to me, this makes complete sense. Everything in our environment is a stress. The gravity, the laying on the couch incorrectly. My body can only take so much of it. I'm not going to be here for a year straight. It's going to be comfortable, and then it's going to start to feel uncomfortable because I need to move. It's constant stresses on your body, and you just manage them the best way you can. Your body naturally tells you when it's time to move. Like right now, I need to adjust my feet, sit back up, get this freaking pillow under me because it's stopping the blood flow on my glutes, right? Now my body's in a new homeostasis, minimizing the stress and adapting accordingly. It's adapting at the same rate of the intensity of that stress. So that's how you should think about sun exposure. Moderate increases. First day, 30 seconds. Second day, 1 minute. Third day, maybe a minute again, or minute and 10 seconds. Do it until you feel good, peak good, and then go away. You don't want to take it to the limit because then you have to use more resources to recover, and you might add too much damage. It's like when you lift weights. I'm gonna go back to it again. If you want to gain strength or hypertrophy, and you want to reduce the lactic acid buildup and metabolic fatigue, well, you choose a certain intensity and a certain rep range, and you leave like 2-3 reps in reserve. Let's say I do 15 reps, and at 15 reps, I'm like burning. Like I feel the burning sensation in my biceps. Like the more I pull, the more I burn, right? That's like at the limit. That's when you know you're getting sunburned. But if I stop like at 12 reps where I'm getting a little fatigued, but it still feels good and it starts to like my performance really starts to taper off, that's when I chill and then call it a day because I've done enough for my body to feel the stress and not leave it so fatigued, not leave it so destroyed where it can see the stress, experience it, and say, okay, at this level, I started to feel really bad. But I'm not horrible enough where I have to just decompensate and just restore my body to baseline. Because if it's too destroyed, your body's just going to fix everything up and return to normal, a new baseline. It's not going to super compensate. You want it to be like, hey, oh, I got damaged, but it wasn't so bad. I know when I start to feel bad, what I'm going to do is repair that because it's not a lost cause. I'm going to repair that with new tissue, new function. So in this case for muscle, it's more muscle density, bigger size. So the next time I reach that uncomfortable point, not pain, but uncomfortableness, it's no longer uncomfortable and I'm able to perform that or resist that stress. So, but that's the point of working out. You repeat that cycle again and again. You adapt to it, and then the next time you work out, you take it to that same level, and if you don't feel bad anymore, but then you do one more rep or two more reps, or you increase the weight. So you always feel uncomfortable at a certain rep, but every time you do it, it's at a higher weight, more weight. So you're getting better at something. And that's the same with skin, sun exposure. Little by little, you might have to keep it at the same sun exposure for weeks at a time, or maybe just a day, or you get better every day. You can actually improve much faster if you do it little by little. If you do minimal every day, it's consistency, really. If you do minimal every day, you stress your body just a little bit where it has to react and quickly fix it and be better at it. But if you do it too intense and at one time, it's so much resources that you have to pour into repairing, returning to baseline, and then super compensating. You just want to create a little crack damage in the system so your body just fills that spot up with better material, stronger material. If you do it too much at time, too much at once, it's going to be like, oh, well, it's a lost cause. We'll just build a different route or compensate in a different way. For muscle, guys, you already know, like I said, injuries. If you damage it too much, like if you cut your finger here, it's going to bleed, it's going to clot, and then it's going to fix itself. But if you cut your whole finger off, it's going to be like, man, it's too much resources to grow a new finger. We're just going to seal it off. It's like cutting the branch off a tree. If you cut it when it's early, when it's not really too invested, it's not really a big resource drainer, that little branch can actually grow back. But if you cut it when it's like a year old, when it's thick, then it's never going to grow back. And what the tree does, it grows new branches that cost less resources to grow new. If it attempts to regrow when it's incredibly damaged, it's gonna like destroy the tree itself. The tree won't repair a big cut in the trunk because it's gonna take so much energy to just repair all that because it's so much weight bearing. It's lost the foundation. It's lost the strength. It's lost so many things. It was too much investment to repair and regrow, so it starts something else. That's the same, guys. If you damage your skin, instead of repairing that layer of skin, it's just going to peel off and let the next layer take the load. So hopefully you guys get the point by now. So little by little, think of it as a training program. Like, not that hard to think about. Also, yeah, it's good to wear sunscreen if you're not ready. That's the only time sunscreen is allowed, in my opinion. Mineral sunscreen, good for your skin, and it's good for the ocean. Choose the right one. But if you're already in the sun every day, but you're not getting burned, that means you've built a tolerance to it, so you should be fine. But The only time you know it's okay is if you've never gotten sunburned and you go to the sun every day. That means you've done enough, you've gotten enough stress or stimulus from the sun where you get a good adaptation. It's a little bit of damage, but it's not like life threatening. You want the minimal. You want the minimal for the most. That's what it really is all about.